Keeping March's Reading Month close to home in Greater West Bloomfield, from adventures on the water to all across nature, learning ways that you can conserve our beautiful natural life here in Greater West Bloomfield and beyond. One of our local experts has written a couple of books herself on those topics. It's Sally Wenczel, who joins us now on the Splash Live. Sally, thank you so much for your time today.
Good morning. Thank you, Tyler. Nice to be here.
Yeah, nice to have you on. We've talked to you previously about your book, Let's Build a Rain Garden. Now you got a new one coming out, Dr. Buttonbush and Friends. Tell us about that story and what sort of nature lessons you'll be teaching in this new book of yours.
Sure. Well, I'm hoping this is finally the year to publish this book. It's been, how do I describe it? It's been in the stew pot for several years, and I just keep adding things and editing and revising. And I really hope, well, it's about shoreline health and natural shorelines. And Dr. Buttonbush is a green frog who lives on the shoreline, and all of his friends come and hang out at his house, which is kind of like a little bohemian coffee shop where everybody comes to learn and drink tea and hang out. And really, 50%, according to Michigan Shoreline Partnership, 50% of Michigan shorelines on lakes are degraded. They're in bad shape. That's a lot. And shoreline health is such a big deal when it comes to water quality and lake health. So if you take these steps to nurture and care for your shoreline by planting native plants and reducing the amount of turf grass and fertilizer and naturalizing your shoreline, I hope that people learn that that is going to equal a healthier lake for everyone to enjoy.
And then how does your living here in West Bloomfield and all of our natural areas, especially the shorelines, we think about our massive lakes here in the greater West Bloomfield communities, how has that played into your inspiration for putting out this story and teaching these important lessons about the health of our shorelines in Michigan?
Well, when I first moved to West Bloomfield from Ferndale, I was looking for nature, and I found it. And unfortunately, I moved onto a sick lake, and I quickly educated myself to figure out how to find the right medicine to make my lake healthy again. And in doing that, over the last decade, it's been almost 10 years now, I've taken classes, I've gone to webinars, and I've figured out that I could draw again. I've reignited kind of my art, and I made time for myself to do art and to do illustration. And I thought, okay, this is really needed in our community. So I wanted to reach a lot of people with my message. With the message I was getting, I wanted others to get that message too, about how important it is to maintain the environment out here. This is why people move here. It's why I moved here. And if we can get the kids, when they're young, and the adults reading to those kids, I think it'll reach far and wide. And you plant these seeds, in the kids when they're reading this information, and it just tunes them in so they pay a little bit closer attention to these issues.
And I'd imagine it's tough, too, because these are intricate topics. They take a lot of scientific knowledge into play, and it can be tough to get even adults to really take a concerted interest in these ecological issues. So how do you do that in a way with these books that is tailored to both the kids and, like you said, their parents and their families as well? So this becomes really a collective understanding and a collective mission to protect our local wildlife.
Well, you know how when you're watching a kid's movie and they slip in a little bit of adult humor, it kind of makes it more fun for the adults to watch too. So I have little Easter eggs in there, like the books on the shelf have they're not kids' books. Like one of them is sustainability and education. It's like this scholastic book, and another one is green infrastructure. Like kids don't know what green infrastructure is, but the adult looking at that title might know, and then they'll explain it to the kid. And Dr. Buttonbush is reading this really old science book. I forget what the title is. You just had it up there. And just little things to make it more fun for the adults. And then the kids can ask questions like, what does that mean? And then sometimes my kids ask me questions and I have to Google it and look it up. So everybody's learning here, I try to pack as much information on each page as possible to make it really fun to look at, lots of colors, quirky, imaginative, and silly, but also with getting the serious issue through all that silliness and colorful imagery.
And we want to encourage kids to take a concerted effort in protecting our local environment. It's something that's so important to our community here in Greater West Bloomfield. But also, this is with March being Reading Month, it's a month where we're trying to inspire kids to have a love of reading as well. And so I want to talk, as we talk to authors about their books this month, what has reading done to inspire you over the years?
Oh, wow. I grabbed this to show you, and I had books like this as a kid. This is just this field guide, and this thing is so beaten up and taped, and I think it's the spot, it's like there's some duct tape inside here. This thing is falling apart. I guess getting outside and taking the images that I've seen in books and going out and finding it. My parents always encouraged me to get outside, and my mom especially, to close your eyes and listen. And what do you hear? What's around you? What's right here? What can we identify? She was a teacher, so she instilled that in me. We're always reading books, and for my kids, when we read something, I try to use that as a teachable moment. And if you have time to get outside with your child and find what you read about, like this wildflower identification book. Like, let's go and I have this little field journal. I'm going to be giving these away at an event pretty soon. And go out and write down what you saw in your little field guide. There's so many ways to embrace the reading and take it into real life.
Sally Wenczel is with us. She's a West Bloomfield resident as well as an author and an illustrator as we recognize March being Reading Month and try to inspire not only the kids to have a love of reading, but to learn about a variety of different topics that are important to us right here close to home in Greater West Bloomfield. Sally, before we let you go, another minute left, we'll have you now. You're also a big supporter during this month and beyond of people supporting their local bookstores. It's become something of a lost commodity for many communities, but here in Greater West Bloomfield, we're very lucky to have local bookstores and a vibrant local library. Why is this such an important issue to you?
Well, I think in a community, it's important to be a conscious shopper. That's what I call them. Be a conscious shopper to support local businesses. And bookstores have this really unique opportunity to represent a community's identity by putting things on the front table when you walk right in about local history, local culture, local cuisine, and local environmental issues. What a great space to display what's going on in your community and to support local authors. And Schuler Books, where you can find the two books that are published now, the Rain Garden book and my native plant coloring book. They were kind enough to take those and they're selling them there. And I urge people to go and support the local bookstore because it keeps the money in our local economy, but it also supports the community's identity, I guess. Yeah.
It's something that has been a big gathering place for people in Greater West Bloomfield. They love their local bookstore. It's been such an asset. They're such great community partners as well. So really nice to support them and have their support too. Sally, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much.